Hello and welcome to Heavy Metal Rex. My name is Wace, and today I'm going to be talking about the 2024 WRX TR. And I know this is yet again an incredibly divisive vehicle, just like the WRX was when it first came out. But before I get into that, I do want to say a big thank you to everyone that came out to see me at SubiFest Florida. I had a great time. I know the drive was a little bit long. It kind of got hot in the middle of the day, but it was probably like the best car-related event I have ever been to. I got a chance to ride with Travis Pastrana, which was amazing. A big thank you to my friend Travis for even making that possible. I got a chance to talk to Bucky again, and he remembered me from SubiFest Midwest, which was kind of nice. And I got to see so many of my subscribers. I mean, you guys were very nice to me, incredibly humbled me with the fact that you enjoy what I do, and you actually take my advice to heart and make informed decisions. And I'm glad that that's working out, because this is all I want this channel to be, is just something that is useful, not just another random channel on the internet with some rando videos or whatever. So with that said, I want to jump into this because, I saw the reveal of the 24, okay? And people talked about my other video where I talked about the reveal. It was a little muted, I admit, because the whole thing about them covering up the car, which was weird because the car looked practically the same as the 22 or the 23, so I don't really know why they put a cover on it. That was a little weird, but that's their thing. I don't know why I probably wouldn't have done that. The only way you even know that as a TR is if you know the difference between the wheels, and if you can kind of see the Recaros peeking through, which, again, we're going to talk about these features. I want to talk about the car. I want to talk about everything that people said about the 22 when it first came out, and also I want to talk about the 2006 and 2007 TRs that did come out that many years ago. So let's start with what were the things that people were saying about the 22 when it first came out. Generally, most reviewers were, across the board, mixed opinion on the way that it looked. But the power band was something that everybody focused on, said it was really interesting. It was shorter, but it was a lot more fun. But the biggest issues were, people talking about the shifter feeling clunky or the brakes feeling just super soft, which, again, we've all experienced the crappy OEM brake pads. And, of course, the steering wheel not having a whole lot of response. This is coming from Motor Trend. Motor One had another one saying, the same thing about the car is it's fun to drive. And the dual pinion electric steering did make it, easier to drive the car. But they all said, the way that the car felt, it changed. It changed enough to where people didn't really like it, or that was an issue with the lack of feel from the car or the lack of feedback or things like that. Most of these reviewers said pretty much the same thing. And if you look at the lightning lap that Car and Driver did, the number one thing they said was, compared to the 2018, the lack of Recaros, the lack of good brake pads, and maybe a little bit of a weight reduction from the sunroof, like the 2018 performance package got, was a big thing that kept the 22 from achieving a better milestone or a better track time. It was a little behind other cars, but it's just unfortunate that that's what it was. And I do believe that they were running a limited, because here it says it's like 3,400 pounds. A premium does not weigh 3,400 pounds. This I can promise you. So with all those things, and I also did include a bunch of, there was so many YouTube channels that were putting out content for the 22 when it first came out, and they all said the exact same thing. The car felt slower. The car didn't handle, or the car handled well, but the way that it felt inside because of the steering, I guess, attributing the electric pinion steering, was a big issue for a lot of them. And of course the brake pads. Brake pads have always sucked. Even the VA WRX, the brake pads were terrible. It's just something that we have to live with. But fast forward to the 24 TR, there was tons of speculation, tons and tons of speculation. And if you look back a couple of months ago, there was that whole, somebody spied the TR, or whatever that was at the time. We didn't know it was a TR. Somebody spied a WRX with what looked like possibly eyesight system, these bigger 19-inch wheels, and Recaros on them, which led everybody to speculate that possibly we are getting a performance package for the 22. That's what I hoped. My hope was that it was going to be a performance package. Now, I am also mixed in this, because on one hand, this is a good change, right? It doesn't matter what anybody says about the fact that there's no STI or any of that. That is irrelevant, right? TR stood for tuner ready back in 2006. Now it stands for track ready, which is also fine, considering that this particular version will give you all of the things you need to do, to have, to drive this car from a dealership straight to a track and enjoy it with nothing else extra at all. Sure, you could have an STI transmission in it, you know, maybe they should have threw in a limited slip. You know, there should have been, possibly that would be one extra thing that I could add to this if they had talked to me, was added some LSDs to the front of the back, because right now it is open diff front and back. That does affect a lot of the performance on the track, unless you're using VDC, which is like the electronic braking, which I did use when I was on the track, and it was like okay, but there's no replacement for a mechanical limited slip. There isn't, at least none that I've experienced. So what did they add? They added Recaros. They stiffened up the suspension a little bit more. They stiffened up the steering wheel a little bit more, and they added Brembos, 19-inch wheels, slotted rotors, or no, I believe they are drilled rotors, and you know, and the eyesight, right? The eyesight, that part doesn't really matter that much, but the brakes. This is where things matter the most, because braking allows you to just, having those Recaro brakes, you can go to the track, you can go to autocross, and you don't have to do anything, right? I ended up buying the EBC yellows because it was a good upgrade over OEM, but to be able to have this right away, this is a big, big deal, right? That alone. Recaros I could probably give up, even though the premium seats for long distance driving aren't particularly great, which I found out recently, but this is still a really good option to have Recaros, because one thing that I heard when the GT first came out, and I actually tried to find numbers for this. I couldn't find numbers anywhere for the sales figures of how many GTs sold, but I will tell you anecdotally, I have met so many people, so many of my subscribers actually own a GT. And when I go to my local I have two Subaru dealerships that I talk to, and whenever they have a GT, they sell it. Like, it doesn't stay on the lot that long. My original expectation was that was the one car that nobody was going to buy. That was the trim that nobody was really going to touch at, you know, $42,000, $44,000. Now, of course, being able to sell them slightly under MSRP, the 2022s, I think people were getting GTs for like 39 or 40, that is a considerably good price point, considering that stock for stock, the SPT is only like 0.1 seconds slower to the quarter mile than the manual version. So like, you know, you guys can hate it all you want, the numbers don't lie. Like, it is genuinely almost as fast as a manual, right? And for people that can't drive it, like I've got a buddy who has a Mustang, you know, he's got knee issues. Like, he can't, you know, it would be harder for him to drive manual, but like, why would he put his body through that if he could just get an automatic? So like, this whole gatekeeping about like transmissions kind of needs to stop, because there are people that can use an automatic, and there's no reason to allow them to be able to experience a fun car like this with an automatic transmission. That being said, the one thing that everybody else that wanted a manual said about the GT was, if only it came in a manual, I'd probably buy it. Now, the GT does come with the electronic dampers, but it does not come with Recaros, so it's still missing something. So here we go. This could potentially be not a replacement, but a side grade to a GT, depending on the price. We still don't know what the price is. It's possible that this could come somewhere around, you know, I don't even want to speculate it, because if people are getting GTs for 42 to 44, you know, this could be the same price. At least I'm hoping. You know, obviously in a perfect world, it'd be nice if this was slightly less. But there's just, at this time, there's just no way of knowing how much this car is going to cost. Now, what you're getting is substantial. You know, let's think about the cost that it is right now to put brand new Brembos, like 6-pot Brembos, on a WRX or any one of these vehicles. You have to get yourself some rotors. You know, you have to get the front rear brakes, which I know, like brand new, some companies are selling them for like $4,500. That's pretty expensive, right? And that actually doesn't include the rotors. Now, what else? Like Recaros, I probably wouldn't buy Recaros, but most of them that I've seen, if you're gonna go buy brand new ones, are like between $2,500 and $4,000. Like, there's a big range for Recaros, and I'm not sure if that's something that is important to everybody. I feel like maybe if you're gonna buy seats, maybe get different ones, which is why I almost felt like this should have been a performance package, because the tuned suspension and the 19-inch wheels, that's a tough one, because most people generally replace the wheels and tires, and they replace the suspension with coilovers or bags or whatever. So like, that part, that's tough. That's a cost. Now, if you are okay with the way that these wheels look, and you know, slowly they are growing on me, and I have another interesting fact to bring up about the wheels, is if you are 100% okay with just buying this car and you don't want to change anything at all, this is incredibly compelling because you're getting a lot of good features and you don't have to touch it. You get your warranty, you don't have to, you know, possibly even if you want to do any power upgrades, but like the way that it is stock, it's perfect. There's nothing really needs to change. Now, if you want to argue the power figures, okay, get yourself an intake and a tune. That's like another $1,000. You basically here have, minus the transmission, as close to an STI as you are going to get at this generation. Because as we all know, intake and a tune is like 330 to 350 horsepower to the wheel. You got Brembos, you have 19-inch wheels, you have a more track tailored suspension, and you're good to go. You know, maybe throw on like a shifter bushing and a shift plate, and I think you've got yourself basically a 2024 STI, minus the LSDs. But I mean, you can, if you really want to upgrade an LSD, I mean, what is that? A good LSD is like $1,000. Something to think about, you know. Now, on the flip side, I do agree with some people saying, you know, that they feel blinded by or blindsided by Subaru not coming out with something more compelling. And when this reveal happened, or even when the leaks came out, I really wasn't expecting anything more than a box standard WRX with a little bit extra. And to be honest, that's what we got. So now a thing about the wheels, I want to show you this. This is the Visive concept that they had. What's interesting is if you look at these wheels, these are incredibly reminiscent of what we got here. Let me see. These are very, very similar, right? And I mean, basically, okay, the shape is the same. Obviously, some of the design elements have been like brought in and made a little bit more standard. And I'll put them side by side so you guys can see. But I mean, it basically is the same thing as the Visive concept, which I actually didn't even really notice that at first. And while I was making this video, one of my subscribers actually posted on the video that I had saying exactly this. And I went back to go look at it, and I was like, wow. They really are the same wheels. I didn't notice that was the thing. Now, okay, the 2006 and 2007 TR. Now let's talk about this. Ever since this was announced that this was going to be a thing, everybody's been talking about what they used to get in the TR. And I actually found this page. This actually is the trims for all of the cars for that year, 2006, 2007, or in this case, the 2007, and it shows you exactly what the TR deletes. And this is interesting because all the TR was they took stuff out and gave you that WRX for a little bit cheaper. So what did they take out? They took out the performance seats and put in sport seats, whatever that means. They deleted the premium CD changer and put in a single disc and 4 speakers. They deleted the automatic climate control with standard air conditioning. They took out the fog lights. You have black folding mirrors. They replaced the leather shift knob and brake handle. They replaced the chrome inner door handles. They deleted, oh no, they deleted them. They just took, oh no, they put black door handles. Okay, they took out rear cup holders. They took out the map pocket. Like, how much weight do you think that is really saving? Like, to be honest, 100%. This trim didn't come with a sunroof anyway. So how much weight do you think all of this saves? Right? Maybe the fog lights were maybe like 5 pounds. Maybe the seats are probably like the most weight that you lost, and possibly the air conditioning. But I haven't been able to find exactly what those weight differences are. Now, in the new TR, they are saying that they removed the sunroof, which is cool, but you know, now they're adding 19-inch wheels. Was it enough? You know, and they're adding the Recaros, which are slightly heavier than the premium seats. So like, yeah, we lost some weight up top, but we just replace it with weight down below. So I guess lower center of gravity, I guess that's fine. I don't know. The only way we're gonna know for sure is when that price comes out. And if that price is obviously like $50,000, $48,000, this is gonna be a tough sell. But if you are looking at buying a base and adding these features yourself, you know, you're gonna spend, obviously, you know, people spend like $2,000 to $3,000 on wheels alone. You know, $3,000 to $4,000 on brakes, possibly changing your seats. You're at over $40,000 already. So if you could just get it from the factory, I honestly don't see what the issue is. The shape is the same. The performance is now going to be better. When this car goes on the lightning lap this year or next year or whenever Car and Driver does it, I guarantee you it is going to put a considerably better time than the 22 WRX. And it's going to put a better time than the 28 or the 2018 WRX with the performance package. I truly do believe that. Anyway, sound off in the comments and tell me what you guys think. I know this is something that everybody's been talking about, and we're going to keep talking about it because it is new. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope it was informative, and I'll see you in the next one. Before you go, if you like this video, please consider subscribing to the channel. Hitting that subscribe button costs you guys nothing, and it gains me everything. I try to provide as much entertainment and information as possible, whether you're looking at my racing series, Vehicular Acceleration Testing, or you're looking at Tuner Talk, which is actually a great series for newcomers and veterans. My only goal is to try to make the VB community better, and I can't do that without your help. Thank you.